everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tackle Productions. Today I Bancroft be joined once again by Jake, and like always, Fluff.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, beautiful people?
And today's matchup is Jake versus Fluff. I'm going to say Jake was inspired by my current rival, Cody, and brought SS4 to our locals, while Fluff went back in time and brought out one of his all-time favorites, Universe 9 Dogs. There's buttons down below. Feel free to click them, they're there for a reason. But let's get into today's matchup.
So, we released a video about this Vegeta list earlier in the week, or last week, I guess, at this point. But, Fluff, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about U9, since it's been a while since we've seen that, and we'll talk a little bit about how these decks interact.
I had been playing yellow really hard, getting in preparation for the Pro Play Tour. So I didn't want to play yellow this week, and I just wanted to play something fun. So I brought out Bergamo. The whole concept behind this deck is to spam the field with a bunch of barrier dogs and generate a lock to keep your opponent's battle cards from being able to attack. The leader has a really interesting ability where he gets to play a battle card with an energy cost of 2 or less at the end of the turn. So that lets you play this Oregano, which is a good cycler. So if I have a dog in hand that I don't want in hand, I get to put it at the bottom and draw 2. Or I can play the 2-drop Bergamo, which decreases the energy cost of cards in my hand. So that's kind of the main strategy of the deck. I would say it's mid-range. It's not early aggro, it's not really late aggro, it's not playing a ton of bombs. It just really focuses on the mid-range game.
What is really scary about the list, though, is that once you have the lock established, basically every turn you're going to make about 8 or 9 attacks minimum, and then your opponent is going to be locked out from attacking you, barring some sort of board clear or something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a really interesting game plan where, in addition to being more combat-oriented, you're also generating a lock, kind of like a fusion between an aggro deck and like Topo Lock or something.
Yeah. Very, very... Well, all of those cards are at like 20,000 power, too. So they all require your opponent to combo off 2 cards unless they're super comboing or tapping an energy for a 10,000. So they all get value if their swings go off.
Yeah, it's just slowly grind down your opponent.
The problem is that the deck is extremely susceptible to ignore barrier removal. So if your opponent is able to, say, I know like Red has the concentrated SS Blue Kaioken. That just snipes out one of the Bergamos. And if that happens, you're almost a sitting duck, because the deck doesn't run... I mean, it runs like the 4 Dimension Magics, and it runs Baby Hatch, but outside of that, the deck's not particularly defensive.
So, real quick, I forgot to mention at the very beginning, this is actually also our first weekend of doing sideboard best of ones. How do you guys feel about that going into this match as well?
I didn't really have a complete board built for this deck. I kind of looked through what I had a little bit and decided to just leave my deck how it was going into this game. I really just had no idea what to expect before things started, so I kind of just left the deck alone.
I knew what to expect out of SS4 Vegeta. It's one of those decks that I'm mostly prepared for. And I knew that I was going to have to deal with this Unison one way or the other. So I either have to bait it into using its effect and then trying to kill it in a turn, or I have to just play around that Unison being there. Thankfully, my sideboard came in super clutch here.
I was going to say, it sucked, I know, last round, hitting that Bergamo trio as a energy.
Yeah, but luckily I had one in hand.
Yeah.
So I hit the one on the energy, but I had the other that I sideboarded in hand, which was just which was just lucky.
And there it
And
is.
that shuts down the unison, right? If it takes
Right.
damage from
Correct.
it.
Yeah.
And is it
I'm
double strike, right?
I think it's
It is
double
a-
strike barrier.
Yeah.
Well, it's now like ultimately protected because all the others are on the board once he passes turn. If I'm correct, that's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So,
So now it's just a matter of turning the card sideways and being protected from this. And I don't know what to expect. I knew that Jake was playing a variation of Cody's list, but I didn't see Cody's list. I wasn't there when you all did the profile for it, so it wasn't like I had ultimate knowledge or knew what was coming down the pipeline. I just knew that I was going to do what I was used to doing with this deck, and that's try to create the lock, put on as much pressure as possible.
now, if correct, the ideal lock, though, is getting 2 of the 4 drops out, right? Is it the 4 drops where they can't attack another battle card outside itself, but once you have 2 on the board, your opponent can't attack either one of them, right? Unless it's with the leader?
I think it's with battle cards.
Yeah.
And then the leader will have an additional effect that
Well,
prevents you from swinging, right?
the leader, if you have, I think it's Basil Lavender, Fluff, correct me if I'm wrong on this. If you have them on the board, your opponent's leader can't attack your leader. And if you have the trio on the board, but you have especially the 2 of the 4 drops, which has the permanent, I think, when this card's in rest mode, your opponent's battle cards can't attack your other battle cards, and it gains 5k for every swing. But if you establish 2 of them on the board, it kind of locks your opponent's battle cards, right? Do we lose Fluff?
I don't know.
No, I'm here. You're correct.
Okay.
I was looking up the way that the leader was worded, and the leader prevents the leader from being attacked by other leader cards or unison cards.
Or Unison's okay.
So it forces your opponent to divulge or to put their leader and unison card swing into the Bergamo on the field.
And Blue, Outside Dogs, now has their own way of doing that too with a new Deadly Defender, which is Miraculous Transformation, which Jake has played.
Which is probably smoother, and just power creeps what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, because you need more than one. You need to establish like 3 cards and then do this and do that. Or it's just like, here's 3 energy, I'm negating.
The cards have to stick. Like if Jake had a God Sealing Technique Trunks, wait for the Mark of the Wolves to play, and then call God Sealing on the 2 cards coming in. They just come back to my hand, and then I'm kind of dead in the water and just paid 4 energy for a 20,000 swing.
Yeah.
That doesn't really do anything else for me.
And I think, unfortunately, this Golden Avenger will just bottom deck that card now, too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to go for.
This was a mistake on my behalf. I baby hatched the swing to try to stop him from getting any momentum because I'm ready to go into a second Bergamo. And Jake went on ahead and threw out the ape. I had a God Sealing Trunks in hand and didn't call it.
Yeah, it looks like you went with the Zamasu here instead.
And I went with the Zamasu here just to utilize my energy, and I probably should have God Sealing there.
Yeah, that would have just been a killer exchange where you spend no energy and I spend 5.
Yeah.
And earlier, you kind of see me messing with the top card in my deck. It's because I went to activate Boo and drew the card, and I forgot his skills were turned off. So I had to go ahead and just swing with Leader to draw that card because I already saw it. So we just, that's what was going on there.
Here, I have to just kind of stem the bleeding a little bit. Losing that Bergamo, you're now free to swing into any of the cards that you want to on the field. Your battle cards still cannot attack my leader. Or, I'm sorry, your leader and unison still may not attack.
Your leader, yeah.
Yeah. But here, you're really focused on trying to clear out some of the pressure that I've established on the field.
Yeah, you see I spend my triple strike attack there on the Zeno just to keep my board from being wiped. I'm kind of low on energy, and I think if I remember, low on cards in hand at this point.
Yeah,
So,
I think you were down to like 5 or 6 cards in hand.
So if you get to wipe the Goku away for free with that Zeno, and then just reestablish new dogs and push on my life, I'm pretty sure I'm dead. So I had to make sure that Zeno was underneath 5 markers, and that Goku could get back into rest mode for his Deadly Defender effect.
Yep.
So yeah, but we won't restand either. I just realized that. Nice.
Yeah.
So Fluff, I remember when the field card first came out, you used it. Did you incorporate it in this new version of it?
I didn't. Because our meta is not particularly... I mean, I guess it kind of is, but I didn't feel like the field card was worth the inclusion because it negates the skills of all energy costs 4 or less. And the only deck that really benefits against is like U7. And people at our shop haven't been playing U7 a whole lot, so I thought about sideboarding it in, but I did not main it.
Yeah, that would have been. That's the triangle of dangers, right?
Yeah, dangerous triangle.
Dangerous triangle. Yeah, that would have been. I don't know how well that would have worked in this matchup specifically, so it was probably a smart choice to leave it in the board for this one.
I mean, the match isn't on camera. Spoiler alert, I got blown out by a U7 deck later in the night. It was pretty rough.
So here you're just applying pressure and causing Jake to, my brain just froze, to use cards from his hand. Which, I mean, in a sense, if you feel good enough to go against both the triple strikes next turn, that's fine. You're just removing the support in his hand.
Yeah. And that's really... I'm counting on Jake to defend and waste cards in his hand. And I think at this point, Jake is down to like 3 cards in his hand. So I'm feeling pretty good about his ability to pressure against me. And I'm feeling pretty good about my ability to pressure against him.
Yeah. Here you go for the Baby Ape just to not have to deal with the triple strike on your turn, and which is really smart, I think, since I took care of the markers on Zeno. It's just kind of another way for you to kind of deny me resources, especially since my hand size is so low.
Yeah. I know I'm not going to be able to kill you this turn. So here, I just wanted to combo as few cards out of my hand as possible, and I comboed off the Dark Banisher Fu. Probably shouldn't have done that. I cited that in specifically against you because of how good it is.
Yeah, if you can set it on the table, especially blue, where most of the way they avoid damage is by activating effects, is really going to be punished by that card.
Yeah. And it's to the point that I don't know that I want to profile dogs just yet because there are changes that I want to make. But one of the changes that I want to make is I want to main deck a Dark Banisher Fu. Because if you have a field like this and you're able to throw down a Dark Banisher Fu, your opponent's just dead.
Yeah, there's no way they can just combo out of all of those 20Ks.
Now, this right here, such a good card if you have 7 energy, because if you're not familiar with the secondary effect, as you can see, it doesn't give a shit about your barrier.
No.
This card naturally is a double strike that gains dual attack, if I'm correct, and it board wipes. Is it a specific cost or just all cards? I can't remember.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Ignoring
there's no limitation on it whatsoever.
And it has deflect, so it's coming in, if I'm correct.
And that's why I kept reading the card. I was like, holy shit, I know this card exists, but are we serious that hits everything regardless of energy cost, ignoring barrier, and then also has deflect? Like, it seems like something that should have been printed for green, not blue.
Right. And the fact that it costs 7 energy keeps it out of most lists. But in SS4, it fits perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. It damaged me so bad. Like, losing that field, losing that momentum is so bad.
Yeah. I'm kind of worried about what you can do on the crackback here because you can establish things so quickly with that 4-drop, and I'm unisonless, so God Sealing isn't going to get me anywhere at this point. So basically, I'm just trying to do the math in my head on how to get out of as many 20k swings as possible and just not die.
Problem with dogs specifically is the deck tends to fizzle just because of percentages. You loaded everything back into the deck on the bottom of the deck. So now I have to find another 4-drop yellow dog. But I've already played through 2, so there's only 3 left. So it's like, okay, do I have another one? Do I have the ability to crack back? The answer is no. I have to get rid of that trunk, or that kale, or I'm pretty sure I'm just dead next turn.
Yeah. I would agree with that assessment.
And then here you put out a Ready to Rumble, and you still have 1 energy open, so I'm going to lose a bunch of energy off of this. But I feel like I might be able to kill you, especially if I can get a swing in and let that swing stick. Because then I'll get to Senzu Bean, I'll get to play something else, I'll get to go in and pressure more.
Yeah, at this point, I'm pretty terrified of a double strike Champa, considering our hand size differential. So even though Zeno's just a 9k, I go ahead and block him here, because in my mind, 9 is bigger than the 5 on Zamasu. So I'm just trying to squeeze out every last combo power I can, and here is the additional dog.
Yeah,
which is terrifying.
But I'm an idiot, and I don't main deck Champa. Because for some reason, if I main deck an off color in this deck, I will 100% hit it on Zeno.
I will say, you did early on hit one of the few cards that don't automatically charge an active
mode. It was one of 2 cards in the deck that would not have charged.
And we've always said, like, even when it's just like 1 overwhelm target, you're going to hit that for some reason.
Yeah. So I cut down on that, and the way to cut down on it is just not playing Champa in the list. Now, would Champa have saved me here? No, because I would have been tapped out, which is the reason that I couldn't combo out anymore. And then I think I'm at 2 life here.
Yeah, you're at 2 life with 2 energy and a board of good cards.
So I'm afraid of the crackback Champa.
Oh, yeah, which I also do not run, because I also do not want to ramp a red card.
And for Jake, it will stay.
Yeah. The only thing that I can do here is try to defend the Bergamo and get its energy cost large enough that Jake can't combo past it. That's the only hope.
So This was an interesting interaction, because I was able to see both of your all's hands and what was going on here. And I felt like you were both waiting for something to happen, and you didn't know, like, who's going to do it first.
Yeah, so here I go, paying 5. I thought about it forever, worrying about the God Seal, and I feel like this is my only path to victory at this point, is to play the ape. Of course it gets Zamasu, but I'm able to get through the Bergamo.
I comboed off the God Seal earlier to try to kill you.
I didn't notice that, but maybe that's part of, like, subconsciously part of why I felt safe making that play.
Yeah. I think it was worth trying to get that play off anyway. Because if that play sticks, it pretty much guarantees you the win. I can't combo with those Zamas, and I think I only have 2 or 3 cards left in my hand, so this pretty much enables you to be able to just combo out and win that way.
Yeah, looks like you're down to I don't know if you were at your last life
Yeah.
there, or if the combo power you would have received wouldn't have been enough to get away from Vegeta. But
When he Dimension Magic, he took a life for that.
I had to spark the Dimension Magic.
oh yeah,
I saw the ape in your hand, but like I said, you were afraid of the Godswing, so you didn't worry about it. And when you played, I think Fluff said, "I don't know why you're so hesitant" or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% the correct move there. You have the energy to spare to do it. I didn't feel bad for losing this match. It was a very good back and forth. And it literally came down to I probably pushed too hard on the Vegeta Ready to Rumble.
And I will say, Fluff could have comboed up. Like, if you did Golden Avenger, his Dimension Magic, he wouldn't be able to retain the energy. He would still have to take the life because it's part of the cost, though. But since you canceled it, and he God sealed your ape, your attack's still going through. He has no energy to use this combo piece, and you could have just comboed up from that point on, though.
Well,
True.
when the ape came in, the Bergamo would have got bottom decked. So
Oh,
it would have
yeah,
dealt
sorry.
with it a step early.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So no, they would have removed that. I don't know what I'm talking about. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Keep in mind there's buttons down below and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
Good game, good fun game. I thought there was a lot of back and forth and a lot of interaction there. Definitely was my favorite game that I played over the night. Can't speak for Jake, but it was my favorite game that I played. As always, read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and as always, fluff out.